How to trust yourself again after being gaslit, rebuilding internal confidence when you have been told your reality is wrong, not how to prove them wrong, not how to get validation from others, but how to believe yourself again. Stay with me. Before we talk about rebuilding, we have to name what was taken. Gaslighting is not just lying. Gaslighting is not just manipulation. Gaslighting is systematic reality erosion. The gaslighter does not just tell you that you are wrong. They make you doubt your own memory, your own perception, your own sanity. They say, that never happened. They say, you are too sensitive. They say, you are remembering it wrong. They say, everyone agrees with me. And after enough repetitions, something happens. You stop trusting your own mind. You start second-guessing every perception. You start asking others to validate your reality. You start wondering if you are the crazy one. Here is what you need to hear. The fact that you are questioning your sanity is evidence that you are not insane. Insane people do not wonder if they are insane. Manipulated people do. Your doubt is not proof of your brokenness. Your doubt is proof of your humanity and proof of the effectiveness of the manipulation. You were not weak to fall for it. You were normal, and normal can be rebuilt. Let me ask you something. How many times have you Googled, am I being gaslit? Or am I the problem? Or am I crazy? How many times have you asked a friend, was that really how it happened? How many times have you written something down only to doubt your own notes? This is not a personality flaw. This is a symptom. Gaslighting creates epistemic trauma to your ability to know what you know. And here is the cruel irony. The more intelligent you are, the more susceptible you can be. Because intelligent people are trained to question themselves, to consider alternative perspectives, to doubt their own certainty. The gaslighter weaponizes your own intellectual humility against you. So how do you rebuild trust in yourself when the very act of questioning has been turned into a weapon? That answer is coming. And it starts with something most people never do: externalizing your memory. Here is the single most important practice for rebuilding self-trust after gaslighting. Externalize your reality. Gaslighting works because memory is malleable. The gaslighter exploits that malleability. The antidote is to move your memories out of your mind and into the physical world. Here is what that looks like. Write it down. Keep a journal of events, not interpretations. Events. What was said, what was done, when it happened. Record it. If it is legal and safe, record conversations, not to use against them, to use for you, to remind yourself of what actually happened. Screenshot it. Text messages, emails, social media. Save everything. The gaslighter will later deny saying what they said. You will have proof. Date it. Timestamps are your friend. On March 15th, they said X, not a few weeks ago. March 15th. Share it with a trusted witness. Tell someone safe what happened. Not for advice, for witness. So there is another human who knows your version. Here is why this works. When the gaslighter says, that never happened, you do not have to rely on your fallible memory. You have evidence. And evidence does not gaslight you. Try this starting today. Write down one thing that happened. Just one. See how it feels to hold it outside your mind. That feeling is the beginning of self-trust. Now let us talk about the voice inside your head. After gaslighting, most people develop an internalized gaslighter. You no longer need them to question your reality. You do it for them. Are you sure that happened? Maybe you are overreacting. Maybe you are the problem. That voice is not yours. That voice is their voice, recorded and replayed. Your job is not to eliminate that voice. Your job is to identify it and answer it. Here is how. Give that voice a name. Call it the doubt. Call it the recording. Call it the implant. When you hear it, do not argue with it. Do not try to prove it wrong. Simply say, that is not my voice. That is the gaslighter's voice. I do not have to answer it. Then turn to your evidence. Your journal, your screenshots, your witness. Let the evidence answer, not your exhausted mind. This is not about being certain all the time. This is about knowing where your doubt comes from. Doubt that comes from genuine uncertainty is healthy. Doubt that comes from a recording of an abuser is not yours to carry. So, how do you tell the difference? That answer is coming. Self-trust is not a feeling, it is an architecture. Here are the 4 pillars of trusting yourself again. Pillar 1, evidence-based memory. You do not rely on your raw memory. You have external evidence, journal entries, screenshots, dates, witnesses. When doubt arises, you consult the evidence, not your fear. Evidence does not lie. Evidence does not gaslight. Pillar 2, somatic truth. Your body knows before your mind does. A knot in your stomach, tension in your shoulders, a feeling of dread. These are not just feelings, these are data. When your mind is confused, ask your body, what do I feel right now? Your body does not gaslight you. Pillar 3, boundary integrity. Self-trust is built through kept promises to yourself. Every time you say, I will leave by 8 p.m., and you leave by 8 p.m., you build trust. Every time you say, I will not answer that call, and you do not answer, you build trust. Small promises, kept consistently. Pillar 4, narrative ownership. You stop asking others to validate your reality. You stop needing them to agree. You stop waiting for the gaslighter to confess. Your narrative is yours. You do not need a witness to believe yourself. You are the primary source. Here is the roadmap. 5 stages. You cannot rush them. Stage 1, documentation. Before you can trust yourself, you need evidence that your memory is reliable. Start a journal, save screenshots, record dates, create an external record of your reality. This is not obsessive, this is rehabilitation. Stage 2, validation from safe others. Find 1 or 2 people who believe you, not people who will fight your battles, people who will simply say, I believe you. That sounds real. Their belief is not permanent, but it is a bridge back to your own belief. Stage 3, small self-trust experiments. Test yourself. Predict something small. I think I will feel tired at 3 p.m. Check. I think I will enjoy this song. Check. I think this person will be late. Check. Each correct prediction rebuilds the muscle. Stage 4, the internal witness. Develop the ability to observe your own thoughts without believing them all. I notice I am doubting myself right now. That is not the same as I am wrong. Observation is not agreement. Observation is distance. Stage 5, self-authorization. You no longer need external permission to trust yourself. You do not need a witness. You do not need a second opinion. You have enough evidence. You have enough history. You authorize yourself. I trust my perception because I have earned that trust. Before you can move forward, you have to know where you are. Ask yourself these 5 questions. 1. When was the last time I trusted a gut feeling and was right? Go back. Find the memory. You have been right many times. The gaslighter wants you to forget. Remember. 2. What would I need to believe myself right now? More evidence, permission, time, a witness. Name what is missing. Then ask, can I give that to myself? 3. Whose voice is that in my head? When you doubt yourself, whose words are you hearing? Yours or theirs? If it is not yours, you do not have to believe it. 4. What is one small thing I know for certain? Not a big thing, a small thing. I know I do not like coffee after 4 p.m. I know I feel cold right now. Start with what you know. Build from there. 5. If I fully trusted myself starting tomorrow, what would I do differently? Would you leave? Would you speak up? Would you stop apologizing? That vision is not fantasy. That vision is direction. Here is something no one tells you. Rebuilding self-trust is not linear. You will have good days and bad days. You will feel certain, and then doubt will crash over you like a wave. This is not failure. This is healing. Healing is not a straight line. Healing is a spiral. You will revisit the same fears at higher levels. So what do you do when doubt returns? Step 1, name it. I am experiencing doubt right now. Not, I am wrong. I am experiencing doubt. Doubt is a visitor, not a resident. Step 2, consult your evidence. Open your journal. Read your own words. Look at your screenshots. Remind yourself of what you know. Step 3, Ask your body, what does my body feel? Not your thoughts, your body. Your body does not gaslight you. Step 4, call your witness. One person who believes you, not to convince them, to hear yourself say it out loud. Step 5, wait. Doubt peaks and passes. Do not make decisions in the peak. Wait 24 hours. The doubt will likely recede. When it does, trust the calm, not the storm. Self-trust is built in small moments. Every day, here are 5 daily practices. Practice 1, the one-sentence journal. Every day, write one sentence about something that happened. Just the facts. Today, my colleague took credit for my idea. Today, I felt tired by 2 p.m. Over time, you will have a record of your own accurate perception. Practice 2, the body check-in. 3 times a day, pause and ask, what do I feel in my body right now? Tension, warmth, heaviness, lightness. Do not interpret, just notice. Your body is telling the truth. Practice 3, the small prediction. Every morning, predict one small thing. The barista will get my order right. It will rain by 4 p.m. My friend will text back within an hour. At the end of the day, check. You will be right more often than you think. Practice 4, the doubt labeling. When you hear the internal gaslighter, label it. That is the recording. That is not my voice. Labeling creates distance. Distance reduces power. Practice 5, the self-authorization statement. Every night, say out loud, I trust myself, not because I am always right, because I have earned the right to believe my own perception. Say it until you believe it. Watch this again, because the first time you named the wound, the second time you learned the practices, the third time you will realize you have always been trustworthy. The gaslighter just made you forget. Your memory is not perfect. No one's is. But your perception is not broken. Your instincts are not crazy. Your feelings are not wrong. They were never wrong. They were just overridden. And now you know how to override the override. You have the journal. You have the evidence. You have your body. You have your witness. You have your voice. And that voice, your voice, is the only one that gets the final say. The gaslighter took your reality. Now you are taking it back. One journal entry at a time. One body check-in at a time. One small prediction at a time. One labeled doubt at a time. One self-authorization at a time. You are not crazy. You are not broken. You are not too sensitive. You were manipulated. And now you are free, not just from them, but from the voice they left behind. Trust yourself. You have always been worth trusting. Comment, I trust myself. Share this with someone who needs to hear that they are not crazy. Subscribe for next, how to spot a manipulator before they get close.